to do. I did nothing wrong. And they took my units, they put them back in auction.
Have to be out by Friday, no exceptions. She responded, okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
You're here on what case?
We are here on, it's case number 240034, G as in George, Z as in zebra.
Are you Pagoda Companies?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Good. That wasn't in your name on Zoom. I don't know who you are unless you rename yourself. We just did it. All right, this is 240034GZ, Kim Andrews versus Pagoda Companies. Ms. Andrews, good afternoon. State your name for the record.
Good afternoon, sir. Kim Andrews.
Okay. And on behalf of Pagoda Companies, state your name for the record, sir.
Chris Michaelopoulos.
And I'm Pete Conley.
All right. Here for a stop the emission and sales of your belongings. So, Ms. Andrews, you may proceed.
Yes, sir. I spoke with Pete Conley, who is sitting there and now Monday, I think it was the 1st, somewhere thereabouts, to see if we could come to an agreement on what I could pay him for the 2 units that I had still owed money on, so that I could get the items out of the units and move out. And Pete and I came with an agreement, and the agreement was to pay for both units as much as I could, or to the amount that we agreed upon. And then once I made those payments, then I was supposed to be able to go into the units to get all my belongings and move them out. And then I would be cleared of those 2 units and they could re-rent them someone else. So this is what happened. I did go and I paid them. And the next day, I went in that night to start moving, and I couldn't because the lock wouldn't come off the unit. But one of the managers, they do not have a manager that stays on the facility. He kind of rotates or whatever. Anyway, he came the next day and opened it for me. So I started moving things out, and I did that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But Tuesday, when that manager came, he said to me, "Come here, Kim, I've got a couple units down here that have gone to auction. They didn't get sold. They're going to get taken by the junk people, junk removal. And if you want anything in those units, you're welcome to them." There was no locks on the units or anything. If you want anything, you may. So I moved my stuff out, and I was doing it by myself. It was difficult because I have carpal tunnel in both hands, and it was very cold. But I was doing the best I could do, and at the time. So I did that for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then on I believe it was Thursday, I went in and started looking at this one particular unit that Ken Sanborn, the manager, had told me I could get out what I wanted. And I was just looking around. So I just started taking some things out of there that I would want. He had told me that he would put a red tag on it and just put it there so that I could squeeze it and open the tag. He didn't put no locks or nothing on either one of the units. So I went ahead and I got some things out. I put them outside. And then it was so cold and my hands were hurting so bad, I had to leave that day. So I came back the next day and we started getting some more things out. The movers were supposed to come and they were supposed to move. I couldn't get enough money together, and they said they weren't going to come unless I could. So they never showed up. So and this whole week I had sent emails or texts to Pete letting him know the status and what was going on. So when I did that on Friday, he informed me that they had been told that I had been taking things out of a unit that was not in my name. And therefore, I had no more access to the property or my belongings. And I couldn't get in there. And I explained to him that was true. I explained it to him and told him. Pardon me?
So where are your belongings now?
Well, now they are still in those units, but the big issue is that they have take those units and they put them back in an auction to be sold, and it ends tomorrow morning. So if there are people that have bid on those units, I don't know why they put them back in auction. They should not have done that. That's not their right to do that. I paid for them. We made an agreement. I adhered to it, and I was doing what I was supposed to do. I did nothing wrong. And they took my units, they put them back in auction from last Monday to tomorrow, and between 10 a.m. they're going to be sold.
Okay.
And I have the motion from you, Judge, where you stop that.
Okay.
Yeah, Your Honor, Pete Conley is the district manager. I'm the director of operations for the company. So Pete was more hands-on with the situation, even though Kim had tried to call me twice to stop her units from going to auction. Kim's a former employee of the company. And so, because of that, we respected to try to give her every opportunity to, cut a deal to not pay the full balance on either one of the units, take a small portion and then allow her to vacate the premise. Okay. So we decided to stop the auction process and stop our items from being sold at auction, write off the balance on each one of the accounts, and then just move forward by letting Kim take her possessions and leave the facility. She failed to, she did make a partial payment on each one of the units, and we did pull those units from the auction that was scheduled. She failed to clean out either one of her units, which was a 10 by 30 and a 12 by 12. And she has subsequently filed with the court to stop her units from being sold or, for us for disposing of these units now that she has failed to adhere to the agreement. But she has subsequently filed another lawsuit in your court, sir, for damages of nearly $10,000.
Right.
Very aware of that.
So what was the agreement? The dollar amount. Well, first of all, let's start this. How much was she behind and how much was the agreement?
Let me explain the agreement. The agreement was she was to pay $350 to remove the items from auction. That was on February 19th. The original auction was on February 20th. She made that payment, even though there was still a balance of...
At the time of the payment, she owed $793.60 on one of the units, and the other unit, she owed $371.
But anyway, the payment was made, and the agreement was she would make the payment and she would have 48 hours to move the units out. In that 48 hours, our elevator broke. It was down for 3 hours, and Kim asked me for extra time. I gave her until Friday, which was 2 extra days, to clean the units out. She responded to my text. I said they have to be out by Friday, no exceptions. She responded, okay. At Friday at 6, I took her access out and we moved the units out because she did not fulfill the terms of the agreement. And on top of that, from the time that she arrived at the property on Tuesday until Friday, she actually accumulated many more items than she began with. There was no real attempt to take anything off the property. Her units were more full on Friday at 6 than they were at Tuesday when she was supposed to start removing items. So when she asked me for more time, it made no sense to me to allow her more time.
That is not true.
All right. Hold on, Ms. Andrews. When's the next auction?
Okay. It ends tomorrow morning.
Hold on. When's the next auction? I'm asking 3 questions and this proceedings will be over. When's the next auction?
The units right now are not in another auction.
Are they pulled?
Yes.
When's
They
the next
have been
auction?
pulled from auction.
When's the next auction?
They're at this time, they're not up for auction.
We have not sent another lien notice, Your Honor, to Mrs. Andrews for another lien. We just wanted her to vacate the premise, and we were going to write off the balance, which she's failed to do. We don't want to sell the items to start with. We just wanted her to take her items and leave the facility so that we can re-rent those units to paying customers. And we wrote off a substantial amount of money in late fees and other fees in order to accommodate her. Because we understand that she was having hard times as she had come back from Texas. But
So Ms. Andrews,
Yes,
go
sir.
ahead, I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
Well, Ms. Andrews, at the end of the day, you haven't been paying them. Your stuff needs to be out. The reason why I'm asking for the next auction is because if they're not out by the next auction, every motion that you stop the eviction or the auction of your belongings will be denied. That's why I'm asking when the next day is, so that way, if you don't make that date, you know on this record that Judge Bowie said, you gave me this amount of time, I failed to do so, I cannot come back to the courts and asking for relief. So that's why I was asking when is the next auction date. And you guys don't know when the next auction date is. Is that correct, Mr. Michaelopoulos?
that's correct, Your Honor. We never set another auction date because we just wanted her to be able to remove her belongings. So we suspended the auction. So it would take us to run through the process again, because technically she's moved out of our system. We would have to reinstate her account, reinstate any, previous fees, and then run it through the whole auction process. So with the 20-day lien notice from the state of Michigan, we would actually still be 2 months out from, or about 64, 65 days from today. So we were hoping, if she wanted to remove her items from the facility, that Your Honor could set that date today and give her, a reasonable amount of time, even though she's already had it, to remove those items. Otherwise, they're really at this point just considered abandoned goods because she had a previous lien notice on both the units that she never fully paid for. We don't want to sell her stuff. We don't want to get rid of her stuff. We just want it off the property.
Right, let me see. Ms. Andrews, you have until 6 p.m. April 19th to have your stuff out of that unit.
Okay, sir, that's no problem. I'll probably have it out before then, but
Hold on 1 second, let me finish.
oh, I'm sorry. Okay,
April 19th at 6 p.m. and at 6:01 they're declared abandoned. Okay?
okay, sir.
All right. And they can do whatever they want with that stuff. They can throw it away, they can sell it, they can clear the unit out, 6:01 p.m. on April 19th. Understood?
Sir. Yes, sir.
All right,
Understood.
so
Your Honor.
I'm going to, yes.
So in regards to this other case that she is suing for damages,
I don't have that before me today, so we'll deal with that one.
all right, because we've turned this over to our insurance company for their legal counsel representation in regards to this matter.
Okay, Judge Bowie, can I explain that? Can I explain that what
Hold
that
on.
means?
Well, I don't have that in front of me, so I don't even know what anyone's talking about, to be honest. I was just having this GZ in front of me, so when it comes before me, I'll handle it then.
Okay, all right. Thank
Okay.
you.
Right. So April 19th at 6 p.m., have your stuff out of there. We're all set.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.